3 pieces of painting advice gold that I wish somebody had told me from the very start. It would have saved a lot of pain and heartache and a bunch of stuff that I might have smashed when I got all ragey and frustrated. Number 1, maybe a bit obvious, but preparation is key. Before you put down a single brushstroke, you have to have your setup totally dialed. Painting is really hard, so make your life as easy as possible before you start. That means you need to have spent some time finding a really good reference picture. It has to be the right size, preferably the same size as your painting. It has to be in focus, no weird shadows or lens distortions, and no freaky colours that you've never mixed before. Spend a few minutes just looking at the picture you're going to paint. Imagine which are the hard bits that are going to give you trouble down the line. Think about how you're going to tackle them, what colours you might want to pre-mix. What are the things that usually trip you up? Then, set out your colours on your easel. Put down enough paint. Put down more than enough paint. Imagine having to stop and reload your palette right when you are really flowing. Have your brushes ready and easy to reach. Have more than enough brushes ready. You might drop one. You might develop a completely irrational dislike to the brush and need to swap it out. You need brushes for dark, for light, for big areas, and for the details. Have your painting medium ready and easy to reach, and have plenty of paper towels for wiping off your brushes. Spend time preparing the surface. I could spend ages talking about this, but you've got to know that the surface is ready to accept the paint and how it feels. You know, is it too slippery because you've put down too much wash, or you're using some different ground that just slurps the paint off your brush? Number 2, make sure you have a really solid drawing on the canvas or panel. I've said it before, but painting is hard enough. If you're not crazy good draftsman yet, don't complicate things by having to draw with a paintbrush directly onto the canvas or panel. Your painting will most likely be doomed without a solid drawing. If your proportions are off and you're trying to chase a likeness all over the canvas, you're going to get so stressed and start crying and or smashing stuff. So use any means to get a really solid drawing onto the canvas. There is no shame in transferring your reference image using grids, tracing paper, or even a projector. Getting good at drawing takes years. I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, and I still have loads to learn. Right. 3, lastly, don't let the finished painting take away from the joy of creating. That includes whether or not there's any love from punters on social media who likely have no idea about the roller coaster ride you've been on in creating this piece. This piece of art that you finally dared to share with the world. I very rarely, if ever, look at a finished piece and dance around the studio celebrating how bloody marvellous I am. In fact, most times, I slump into a chair wondering, where did it all go so wrong? It had so much potential. Only to look at it again in a couple of weeks and think, actually, with a few tweaks, maybe it's not so bad after all. I leave you with this. We have no control over what people think of the art we create. The only thing you can control is how you feel about the journey of creating it. Let go of what other people think and just enjoy playing with paint. And maybe every now and then you'll create something that you really love.